What's up, everybody? Welcome to Truth About Design, where we give candid truths and guidance for the design industry. And in this video, we are talking about terrible UX design job descriptions, or how to avoid bad UX design jobs. So terrible UX design jobs are flooding the market right now. And you can tell a lot about a UX design job and who wrote it based on the job description. Think about it. In order to find a qualified employee, you first need to figure out what you think you're even looking for. You then need to write down what you're looking for and post what you're looking for online. Anything that person or team wrote tells you a lot about their thought process. I'm writing this to give you some guidelines on what to be wary of so that you can either avoid these terrible UX design jobs or at least know what you're getting yourselves into, because we all sometimes need to take crappy jobs to pay the bills. Here are some things to look out for when you're looking at UX job descriptions. If it asks you to code, generally, UX design job descriptions are split up into two buckets. In the first bucket, they talk about what you'll be doing. They call that roles and responsibilities. And in the second bucket, they talk about the skills you need to have in order to do what you'll be doing there. They call that the requirements. Now, if in the second bucket, they're writing something along the lines of knowledge of HTML, CSS is a plus, that's fine. Every designer should know a little bit about how to code, or should have coded a website or app from scratch once in their life, simply because it gives you more context around how things are built, which in turn makes you a better team member to engineers. It's the same as an architect needing to know his materials, or a fashion designer knowing how to sew. However, if in the list of job responsibilities they explicitly state be able to code your designs, or ability to turn your designs into production-ready code, close that job posting out immediately. What that language means is that this company can't afford to hire front-end developers, so they're trying to save money by having one person do multiple jobs. Now, it's good to be frugal, but working with people that try to save in the wrong areas is always going to be a bad experience. Next thing to look out for is if it uses the words beautiful, intuitive, and pixel perfect too often. If a job posting constantly talks about building beautiful, intuitive, pixel-perfect interfaces down to the perfect last pixel, that tells you that this company doesn't understand what design is really about. This is a company that still thinks that design is about making things pretty. Those types of phrases, those are platitudes used by people who haven't reflected on what they need and what they're even saying. See, even if you're a visual designer, this is a tough environment to work in, because as a visual designer, your job is not just to make things beautiful. Your job is to communicate visually. And in a job like this, you're going to get into debates around personal taste a lot, because who quantifies what beautiful means and to whom? So what'll happen is that you won't even get a chance to create visual designs that are as good as they could be, because you won't have any real metric to ground your visual communication in. Another thing to look out for is if it says that design reports into engineering. Now, this is something that could go either way. If you happen to have a fantastic engineering team that really understands the value of user experience and is motivated to build a great user experience no matter what, you might be able to form a great partnership. Most of the time, though, this indicates an organization that when faced with the choice of shipping a great user experience that might take a substantial engineering or re-engineering effort to make a reality, they will choose to not shake up the boat too much. So you'll hear a lot of arguments from people in engineering along the lines of, we can't do this because we can't implement this in the build. Like a friend of mine who works at a major company here in Silicon Valley hears this all of the time. But the truth is that engineers can do anything. They can do anything and they can build anything. It's just a matter of having the time, resources, but most of all, the motivation and to see the vision behind why you should be doing it. And in most engineering-led organizations, creating a great experience design simply isn't the top priority. So you'll always be struggling to create designs that are as good as they could be in an organization like that. Another thing to look out for is if it says that design reports into product. And again, this is a situation where it could go either way. When I was at Walmart Labs, I had one fantastic product manager. Now, this fantastic product manager, she was absolutely brilliant at what she did. She spent most of her time doing market research and discovering opportunities in the market, keeping the teams aligned, socializing ideas in the organization, and getting buy-in and agreement from stakeholders. After doing some research, if she had identified a new opportunity in the market, she would approach the designers and the engineers to discuss the opportunity and roughly outline what she thought that it should do and what problems it should solve and, what are some products in the market currently doing something similar. And if we decided that it makes sense to move forward on this, we set some deadlines, but then she let us do the rest. She never told the designers how to design or the engineers how to code. She was the glue between teams, and she was able to compensate for the weaknesses many designers and engineers have when it comes to communication. She made sure that we communicated with each other, and she helped good ideas spread and get pushed through and approved by the right people in the org. Now, that was a fantastic relationship because I could focus completely on design, engineers could focus completely on engineering, and she did everything else. However, most product managers are terrible. They do the opposite of what she did. They are either too hands-on, in which case they draw detailed wireframes and just expect the designers to do visual mock-ups of what they drew out, or they are too hands-off and don't really know what they want or where things should go. They have no vision, so no decisions get made, and they tend to be reactive to whatever other stakeholders say. Whoever they're in a meeting with, they'll just agree with whatever that stakeholder says. Now, this terrible situation with product managers is made worse by this idea going around that product managers are like mini CEOs of the products that they're shipping. So now every insecure product manager thinks that they're Steve Jobs and can just bulldoze their ideas through under the pretense of being a brilliant product visionary that can distort reality. They don't realize the true value that a great product manager can add. So they're insecure about their position and they try to mask their insecurities with posturing and politics. And this is especially true of younger product managers that don't have kids, because kids teach you patience, empathy, and communication. Another red flag to look out for with these product-focused orgs is, look at if a company has already hired 3 or 4 product managers, but has no designers on the team otherwise. That also tells you where their priorities lie and how they value design. Now, that's something that you can't find out from the job description alone, but you can find it out either in a screening call, going on LinkedIn and looking at the employees working at the company. Finally, guys, be careful out there. The UX field right now isn't in great shape. Some might call it growing pains. The field is growing rapidly because software is eating the world and software products are becoming more and more important and more complex to create and maintain. And the market is getting flooded by junior designers who come out of these boot camps and don't really know what they're doing yet. Most companies still don't really get what design is and why it matters, and they're trying to squeeze all of the creativity and personality out of it to try to reduce it to a process that can be reproduced by anyone you slot into the position, kind of like mass producing canned food. And because of this dynamic, there's a lot of terrible UX design jobs out there and lots of junior designers lining up to be treated poorly. So look, not every job you take is going to be your dream job, but you should at least know what you're getting yourself into. Now, over at my platform, Truth About Design, I run a jobs board as well, and new jobs are being added almost daily. I can promise you that there will never be any crappy jobs listed there. Now, that's it for this episode. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Tell me about some of your terrible UX design stories. Share some terrible job descriptions with me, and I'll see you soon. Peace.